requires employee to upgrade according to needs and wants. Hence, upskilling is the modern term. So next, skills upgrading can also enable employees to broaden their knowledge in order to progress within the company. Last class को कहती आमर broadly 3 areas रे हमें operate करूचु जोटा को हमें focus रखुचु knowledge, skills and attitude. Is this word file visible?
No, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Word file टा देखा जाऊनी?
हाँ सर दिखा दो।
Yes, sir, only the PPT file.
Okay.
This is the PPT only, not Word file.
Sir, PPT देखा जाओ तो Word file no.
Right. Knowledge skill बुंगल PPT को ही करे दो जी. Knowledge skill and attitude हमारे इधर देखी दो वो. हमारे गोटे अच्छी. Basically हमें follow करते कोटा को KS है. KS है हमें कौन कोच knowledge को धरते skill को धरते कि attitude को देखते. When we are upskilling, we are focusing on 3 areas: knowledge, skill, and attitude. And हमारे इठी skill को हमें देखी चले. We are acquiring knowledge and attitude. It allows employees to gain autonomy, motivation, and increase their performance. Motivation point that is the attitude. When a person is confident, a person is trained, a person is willing to go for skills development, then the person is a self-motivated person. That person strives to perform and meet individual as well as the organizational goals. Next is, and that's not all, for many people, including high potentials. High potentials are people or employees, those who are, performing or outperforming their expected or desired expected outcome is a parameter set by the company. Those people who are exceeding the set parameter are known as high potentials. In case of upskilling, high potentials progress is an essential source of fulfillment. That is ambition. Obviously, when you guys are outperforming within an organization, you will always expect to climb higher within the organizational hierarchy. That is promotion. You have to be recognized. Moving up in a hierarchy, that is ambition. Udipalla, what is skill building? Is this slide visible to all? Skill building, the first process what we are going through is assess the employee skills. So when we are doing performance appraisal, performance management, we are assessing the existing level of a particular employee's skills, and then we can at least assess in future what kind of training does the employee need. Then identify skills gap and prioritize what is required in the future and what lacuna is there of an employee's abilities that I can find out post analysis of performance. Next is design and implement skill building activities or training programs. Say for example, for a salesperson, your human skills or your speaking communication skills are extremely important while dealing with client as well as meeting their query. So skills can be divided into skills based on communication, skills based on improving the knowledge about your product, so on and so forth. Design and implementing skills based activities. Next is the next steps in skill building is build skills through activities. There are many companies, they host different kind of promotional events, or they are a part of trade fairs where they are enhancing their ability to generate new customers as well as visibility in such events. Clear? So skill, they are building their skills or they're meeting new clients through such events. Next is apply new skills on the job, measure improvement. Applying new skills on the job is whatever you are learning, that has to be again transferred to your job performance. Till now clear? Any doubt?
No, sir.
Okay, moving on. According to this model is developed by Association of Talent Development. they have come up with three kinds of, learning and development. What are those? Personal capability, building personal capability. That is again your own individual potential you are going to build up. But one of the main issues over here is the person or the employee has to be again self-motivated. If a person is not self-motivated, we cannot push the person to, developing a skill. That happens in many cases. Earlier people were resistant to change, and nowadays some people are resistant to change, so they are not going to build up the capacity. They are going to stay stagnant in a particular position. Next is developing professional capability. What is professional capability? Professional capability is again your ability to create your, increase your productivity through acquired skills, which are training programs. Those are devised to increase productivity. Your, interpersonal skills are also taken into consideration over here. Moreover, your personality development sessions are done. Why? Because today I'm working at a middle level. Tomorrow, today's middle level employees are tomorrow's leaders. Do you agree to this point? Yes. If so, then we are going to develop if professional capabilities of the employee or an individual who is working in an organization, impacting organizational capability. Meaning what? What is organizational capability? See, if learning and development or an organization that promotes learning within and development in its scope, learning for employees, development for employees is there in their memorandum. It is there in their culture that employees are to be trained, employees are to be developed, employees are given ample opportunities to again move up on their own within the corporate hierarchy. So organizational capability will eventually increase or decrease. If my employees are trained, if my employees are doing their job on their own, should I monitor them? Isn't the organizational capability increasing? Are you guys following me?
Sir, can you repeat the question?
My question is, or my point is, when the employee itself is a self-motivated employee, it is going to be much easier for them to, have their own development plans. I do not have to push them. If they are self-motivated, then the organizational capability increases or not. Tomorrow, I am, in a particular segment. I can operate into a new segment. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So, hence, what I'm trying to say is, today, if I'm having a competent workforce with me, my organizational potential to grow and have a again diversify, that potential becomes more evident, that becomes much easier.
Yes, sir.
Moving on. Okay, what is learning design? Learning design, we are going to start with the diagram. Learning design is basically learning
Sir,
objectives.
slide change होनी.
Slide change होनी एबे जमा होनी. Is it for all or is it for only?
Sir,
Subhash?
we are still on skill building slide.
Okay, fine. We are on this slide.
Yes, sir.
Is this
Slide 12
changing
भी
now?
देखा होची.
एबे change होती की?
Yes,
Yes, sir.
sir.
But yes.
Change होती?
Yes, sir. How?
Yes, sir. How is it?
Yes.
Okay, fine. Change होनी जल्दी कोई बा? Is this slide visible?
Yes, sir. It is visible.
Yes, sir.
Visible था? So next हमारा इटा हम cover कर देली. The learning and development. The model has been developed by Association of Talent Development. Okay, next moving on, learning design. learning design का हम केमिति करूचे, learning objectives we are planning, or learning design within an organization. Learning and training are synonymous
ଏବେ
within an
ଚେଞ୍ଜ
organization.
ହେଲାନି ସାର୍।
सर चेंज हेलानी
ଏବେ
नो ସାର୍।
ଏବେ ବି ହଉନି।
ଏବେ ହେଲା ସାର୍।
यस सर हेला
Full screen में कहीं हूँ। Fine. Okay, screen का टिके देखा हो जी ना ने? Screen समस्त visible अच्छे?
यस सर
Yes, sir.
Okay, learning design. Learning is basically synonymous with the training in an organization, but learning for us is a different. Is having a different meaning, but within an organization, the learning has a different purpose. That is to again develop the potential of my employees. So, what is the model all about? Learning and starting situation, prior knowledge. How do we understand what is the starting situation? Post analysis of your, say for example, I am doing a performance appraisal. I can assess or I can compare your existing productivity with the stated productivity or the parameters set by the organization. Yes, if there is a gap meaning, say for example, a person is not meeting the stated or the parameter, then there's a gap. How do we plan to develop the potential or develop the productivity? What we are going to do is we are going to plan a training session. See, if the person needs a particular skill to become more efficient, or the person needs to more knowledge about how the work is to be done, that is again to be provided. So training objectives here is also within the learning design, this model. Learning or training objectives will state what kind of a training or learning is to be provided to the employees. Then within that, we are going to again understand what is the subject matter. Say, for example, there may be technical skills or conceptual skills related to any kind of a new challenge which the company is going to provide to the employee. So then we are going to see what kind of training method is to be provided. Is it going to be in-house training, or the employee has to go to upgrade to some other place to again learn the skill and come back and deploy it on the job? And what are the learning methods? What is learning method means? Is it again a classroom teaching, or an expert will come, or what kind of say for example, is it a classroom teaching, so on and so forth. Education and educational resources. Education and educational resources basically means we are introducing the concept. Resources is what, say for example, we are going to hand out books to students. We are also going to give out our PPTs which are there so that students can have a reference while preparing for their exams. So those are educational resources that is available. We'll go into detail what are those, but the educational resources in our training jargon is also known as training deliverables or training aids. Okay, then coming to learning objectives, post everything which is done, we are going to monitor and evaluate. The monitoring is done periodically, and evaluation is done when you are giving a test. So this is similar to the learning process. Any doubt till now? Slide change होती.
Yes, sir.
Doubt achiki? Shall I move? Continue?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Continue.
Okay, learning and development. Learning is concerned with the acquisition of knowledge, skill, and attitudes. What I was earlier talking about, KSA, knowledge, skill, and attitudes. During our discourse of learning this particular subject, I'll be using KSA a lot. So try to follow, try to keep up. Development is broadening and deepening of knowledge in line with one's developmental goals. Or developmental goals. What do we understand by developmental goals? I want to make a career in, say, for example, HRM. Fine. So I am going to train myself accordingly. What are the latest systems which are there, or latest skills that are requisite in my own area. So development has to be again planned according to whom? According to, acha, fine. Training our development rate. What is the main difference? That we will go through. ଆମେ ଏଟାକୁ ପଢିଥିଲେ ବି ଆଗ ସ୍ଲାଇଡ୍ ରେ ଟ୍ରେନିଂ ଡେଭଲପମେଣ୍ଟ ଟ୍ରେନିଂ ଆଉ ଡେଭଲପମେଣ୍ଟ ର ଆମର ମେନ୍ ଡିଫରେନ୍ସ ଟା କଣ? Yes. So learning को बुझो कि training होची, what is development then? Keep it interactive, guys. It is already, too late, and we have to again ramble on for another half an hour. So please keep it interactive. Don't just switch onto the channel and dive into it. Interaction रखो so that I am also interested. Okay, fine. I'll continue. Specifically, learning is concerned about the acquisition of knowledge, skills, and attitude. Development is broadening and deepening the knowledge in line with one's developmental goals. The goal of learning and development is to develop or change behavior of individuals or groups for better, sharing knowledge and insights or foresight or understanding or perception that enable them to do their work better or cultivate attitudes that help them to perform better. Next. Learning and development concept. What is that? Learning, the acquisition of knowledge, skills, and attitudes through experience, study, or teaching. Training and development, education are all involved learning. Training is what? If it is learning, then what is training? Training is aimed at teaching immediately applicable knowledge, skills, and attitudes to be used for specific purpose. Okay. Training may focus on delivering better performance in the current role or to overcome future changes. Future changes is, again, we are going to anticipate a lot of technical changes. So we are well prepared. Hence, training is provided to our employees. Development is aimed at a long-term situation. Why? Because I want to see today's mid-level managers become tomorrow's policy makers, decision makers, leaders, visionaries who can lead the team or lead the company in the future. So it revolves around broadening of or deepening of knowledge, increasing the knowledge about the company, increasing knowledge about the sector, increasing the knowledge about in every aspect. This has to fit within one's personal development goals and the future goals of the organization, or rather, that is again a phase where a potential or a high potential is taken under the grooming program by the company to become the next generation visionary and a leader who's going to have a greater impact on the organizational development plans. What is education? Is a mere formal way to broaden one's knowledge. Education is often non-specific and applicable for a long time and is especially relevant when a person has little experience in a certain area. It's basically providing a general idea or information or what we are going to learn, and it is again to acquire information, acquire knowledge. It is nothing else. Next, moving on. Skills upgradation, upskilling, talent development. What are those? Talent development goals are there. Why? Because we are going to future-proof our organization to meet the upcoming challenges that is going to be thrown towards us. If a person within or an employee within an organization is well trained, well adapting, then they can easily adapt to certain contingency situations. People during COVID adapted, or organizations did not shut down. There were many sectors which were operating. People were actually, well prepared at that particular time. Organizations globally, they did not suffer a lot. They did, but they did not suffer a lot. Improved employee engagement. What is employee engagement? Employee engagement basically means keeping the employee occupied at all times and aiming to reduce wastage, aiming to reduce your, say for example, free time where the employee is not productive, but he is going to have a discussion, have a gossip, have a chat. So all these, our upskilling development aims to do that, to keep the employee occupied, stress-free. It doesn't necessarily mean to again focus on your job. They can be again, say for example, these training activities can help them to de-stress also.
Yes, sir.
Generating new ideas and business opportunities. Obviously, if I'm well acquainted with the sectoral knowledge, any person within my team, within my organization can come up
Sir?
with that. Yeah.
Sir,
So what
no.
happened with COVID? The COVID situation happened, the pandemic happened. Is
Yeah.
it comes under the future proofing the organization,
Why
or
not?
it is come under improved employment engagement?
It is going to be coming under future proofing of the organization, because COVID is an unnatural activity or unnatural situation, unfortunate situation which nobody in the world had predicted.
Okay,
If my employee is well trained, then the person is going to again apply those skills and knowledge to react to a particular situation. If you guys are well trained, if I'm going to throw you a challenge, or I'm going to give you a case study, if you guys are taught well, aren't you going to be answering it? Or you will just sit there, sir, we do not know. That is not what you're going to do. If you are well aware of a particular concept, be it any faculty is going to ask you a question about that subject, so you are going to answer yes or no.
Yes, sir.
So future proofing basically means, see, if there is going to be a technological change, we are moving towards a much faster internet, a more connected world. So when we are more connected, we as employees need to be again prepared to meet I am having a client in India. My clients are also available there globally. Say for example, there's an MNC operating, and people are trained so that they can operate at different time zones. Technology, what is there currently in India, is not at par with or the developed nations which are there. So we have to again adapt. Future proofing is we are preparing for any contingency, we are preparing for any technological changes. Say for example, I mean, a short analysis of our environment. Aren't you guys, what is O in that? Strength, weakness, what is O?
Sir, please.
Opportunities. What is T? Threats. T is threats, isn't it? So if you guys are well trained, you can identify in this point, generating new ideas and business opportunities. If you guys are well prepared, well trained, you can again have an idea which opportunities to tap into. Yes. Yes or no?
Sir.
You can predict that the
Yes.
XYZ sector is a lucrative sector where I can operate. Nowadays, everything is moving into the EV segment. Automobile sector people are moving into electric vehicle, so that their focus is to market a product which is again environmentally friendly, and it is going to build their company image. So there is that is a business opportunity. Hence, my people are trained to promote a particular idea. So my people can adapt much quicker vis-a-vis companies who have come up now, new startups who are moving. Ether Ola, they are not existing. They were never existing in the electric EV segment, but the response is so that their employees were well trained and they had come up with a good marketing plan. Improved employee engagement, for example, see, for example, I am not able to give my employees proper opportunities or proper challenges. Most of the time, employee will be, say for example, during the 8-9 hours, whatever we are working, we have free time of around half an hour, 45 minutes or 1 hour. That 1 hour is a wastage of productivity working time. So productivity in that 1 hour, apart from your breaks, whatever you take over the day, that is a waste. Better to keep my employees engaged by giving them certain challenges, giving them more work. Work means not our organizational day-to-day work, that work, and that will help them to grow also. मुझे गोटे सिचुएशन तुमको दिल्ली से फॉर एग्जांपल तुमको काली मु कहि गोटे नुवा प्रोडक्ट लॉन्च करो, you guys are not prepared about it, so you have to come up with a marketing plan to prepare for product launch. बुझी पारलो, if you guys are trained, then you are going to do it much faster. Doubt अछि ना, clear है?
Yes, sir.
कोठी के डाउट अछि काइंडली पचारो.
No, sir. ये part clear रहेगा.
Developing more effective managers.
Yes, sir.
More effective managers are those people who are going to understand, or those who are much more efficient, and trained employees are much more effective in their work. So when the organization managers come on, they may have a team whereby they are getting the work done from the employees or their subordinates. So a effective manager is one who is a skilled manager who can get the work done from their subordinates much effectively, much efficiently, without having any issues. Or if there are issues, then the effective managers will try to again solve the conflict and get the work done. So training is provided. Big concept अछि BMT, behavioral modification training. Behavioral modification training. Managers are again, they have to come up with they have to identify if there is an issue in their group. If there is an issue, what is the reason of the issue? I'm OB damage organizational behavior, work-life balance. So what we do is basically understand why an employee is unproductive. What happens is when we are upskilled or skilled employee, as a manager, I can understand and feel who employed what kind of lacuna is there. Is it emotional lacuna? Is it stress? Is it again some kind of a financial issue? So that I can address and become much efficient. Next, increased employee retention rates. Increased employee retention means your labor turnover rate or your employee turnover rate becomes minimum when I'm providing my employees with a platform to develop themselves, or the employee itself is having an opportunity to move up in the corporate ladder through their own development, as well as being much more efficient and achieving the organizational goals. Moving on, adult learning theory, also known as andragogy. Here a short question asibo. किंबा तमरो गोटे शॉर्ट तम जो 7-8 मार्क जो 8 मार्क जो आसे टीचर आसे. Adult learning theory, also known as andragogy, is a concept that has been developed by Malcolm Knowles. This theory states of how adults learn and how it differs from children. It aims to show how adult learning is distinct and identify the learning styles which suit them the best. What are those? Before going into the theory, there are three key assumptions which Knowles had taken. Self-concept, from instructor-led to self-driven, meaning you guys or the employee or the person to learn has to be again self-motivated. We have to be aware that yes, there are certain skills or there is some scope for my own development, and I have to become much more efficient. So self-motivation being one part. Adult learner experiences sharing results in learning, meaning what? I, as a faculty, can share certain practical examples with you guys so that it helps you to learn these concepts, understand these situations much better. So, in case of organizations, our team lead, our manager, they can share their own experiences with the team. They can come up with better, say for example, they can come up with their own, excuse me, okay, they can come up with the real life experiences which they have faced, and they are willing to share it with them, so that there is learning, and subordinates will not be prepared to again address similar situation. Readiness to learn. See, if you guys are unwilling, can I force you to learn? If you guys are unwilling to learn, can I force you to learn? No, I cannot.
No.
No, sir.
So
No,
it is the
sir.
same. It is the same thing
We
in
have to interest.
organizations. Fine. Willingness to learn or readiness to learn. Willingness aids to develop. However, resistance hinders learning. Resistance is if I am reluctant to learn, I will stagnate in a particular position for a long time. Next is orientation of learning. What is the orientation of learning? Adults tend to learn something if that learning is applicable practically in their lives. Okay. If something is not, going to help me, why should I learn it? That is the kind of attitude some people have. So we are basically going to learn something which is actually helping me. See, Mujipala, this point, motivation to learn. Adults tend to learn either to achieve a purpose or boost esteem. Motivation to learn, or rather, purposive learning. What kind of a purpose I am having? What motivates me to again learn? Is it money? Is it my position? Is it something which I need in society? So, what kind of learning or why I am learning to achieve what? That is again goal, fixed goal. Next. स्लाइड चेंज होती तो समझ स्लाइड चेंज रे इश्यू कारण नाही का
No, sir. Ebe change hoji.
Okay. Apply adult learning theory to your corporate learning. How do we do that? Analyze your learning with the theory in mind. Theory is again the training module. Technical your managerial behavioral skills related whatever. Analyze your learning with the theory in the mind. Collaborate on learning. The learning you're providing. Collaborate on the learning you're providing means collaborate with what? Who can tell me this meaning? Collaborate learning on the learning you're providing. I am going to share my learning with my peers, with my subordinates, so that what I have learned can also be again accepted as well as appreciated by my peers as well as my subordinates, whoever is associated with me with my organization. Collaboration will again help the company or the employee to again generate good interpersonal relationships with the peers. Yes or no? E point clear ho tu na nahi? E point clear halo ki?
No, sir.
So, tome gote skill learn kolo. You have to be, willing to share it with your peers. If you are unwilling, then how you are going to expect that what they are learning, they are going to share with you. So for example, attitude or behavioral modification training where I am going to help my or I have learned to control or assess or develop my emotional quotient. Assessing emotional quotient means I am developing skills to again be more acceptable of situations. I am not going to react. I am going to react more calmly. I am going to accept who or my peers. If somebody is having a bad attitude, I am going to accept it, and I am going to be more focused doing my own job. So I am undergoing a training to boost my or rather de-stress. If I am going to practice, IT sector you de-stress exercises, the management games that are aimed to de-stress. If you are unwilling to share with your friends, unwilling to share with your peers, do you think you alone will be able to achieve? Because nowadays everything works on a team. Will you alone be achieve your goal as well as the organizational goal? No, I don't think so. तुम एकला करि परिबो कि?
No, sir.
ना आउथर बुझेबी आ गुड पॉइंट आ गुड एग्जांपल
ना बुझिरा
आपण मानन को गोटे स्किल पढ़ा है आपण को डी स्ट्रेसिंग गोटे सेशन कराउजी योगा सेशन कराला किबा आपण को गोटे मैनेजमेंट गेम करी टीम स्पिरिट ग्रुप डायनामिक्स ऊपर आपण को बुझा if you guys are unwilling to share it with your friends collaborate on learning with learning you're providing so if you are not sharing willing it to share it with your friends do you think they'll share everything they learned with you? No, they are going to keep their skills hidden also. So when you're working on a team team performance will be extremely low. Enable self-directed learning. What do you understand by enable self-directed learning? You plan your own blueprint. I have to achieve this, or my goal is that to achieve a middle level management position or a top level management position. So for that, what are requisite skill sets which I need to possess? I'm going to plan. So for example, many of you will be willing to go for digital marketing. Many of you will be willing to go for, say, for example, HRM, specialized HR analytics. That is the in thing nowadays. HR analytics, data management, सेटा को आजिका डेट रे हम कहूचे बिग डाटा जो गोटे पार्ट सो सेटा आजिका डेट रे दैट इज ट्रेंडिंग इन द कॉर्पोरेट वर्ल्ड many of you will be willing to make a career in that so how you are going to plan to make a career in that you are going to give yourselves certain blueprint in more a blueprint रे हमें चालू this is the phase I'm first 5 years in here करी next 5 years here करी we after say for example 10 years of experience and the requisite skill set, I'm going to go into a company where I can again have an opportunity to showcase my learned skills. So enable self-directed learning, use real world learning examples, money case study. They are most applicable for leaders or attitude case. Modern day leaders, they can learn a lot from case study. How to say, for example, address a conflict. See, our IR related conflict, industrial relation ko hame jodi ebe tikke jiba. So a skilled person is going to again easily figure out how to again address a particular situation. So our real world example, we can get an idea. Our learning we can get an idea if similar situations happen to me. How am I going to react? What decisions at that time were wrong? Or say in good company, say for example, our Maruti crisis in Haryana, people died and many workers died and the manager also died. They could have handled the situation much better. That is a live example we can do. So that learning happening in a manufacturing plant, some stress was seen. There was a conflict. So these examples are real world learning for people placed in the similar situation. May not belong, may not be there in the same sector, but maybe in the same level of working. Clear? Let your learners figure it out themselves. Meaning what? Let them take their own risk. If you make mistakes, mistakes will help you to learn better. Yes or no? You don't go to challenge them. If you make mistakes, then only you are going to understand which is the right path or which is the correct way to move about or go about it. Experimentation is the key. Means there is no particular or a fixed standard for adult learning. They have their own kind of learning pattern when they can start at a very late age. They can have very odd hours of studying. So there is say fix nahi. Experimenting, coming up with better ideas so that keeping them engaged, keeping them interested to learn is a challenge. Kichi doubt achi ki? Kichi doubt achi ki Kara? Should I continue?
Yes, sir. Continue.
Okay, learning types. David A. Coates model. Learning types are two types of Paul model accommodator. Concrete experience, active experiment, strong in hands-on practical doing, that is physical therapist. Example को भूलो मुझे तो हमें organizational ये लोग कौन सी concrete experience are people managers with concrete experience. Active experiment, say for example my manager is a manager of the SBU strategic business unit ro जो गुड़ा को say for example इतनी का bank और branch तो मैं देखो जो are they not SBUs? Do we know अपन मन जानी जानते SBU का concept का कौन? What is an SBU? No one? Fine. Concrete experience of a SBU manager. SBU is strategic business units of a company placed at strategic locations to conduct business. They have specific purpose to generate revenue, generate sales, so on and so forth. So concrete experience is people having years of experience. They are willing to take more risks. Why? Because they want to have their company's presence felt in the market. Active experiments at times will work, at times may not work, but experiments need to be done so that visibility, revenue is again there. Converger. Converger meaning what? Abstract conceptualization. Abstract conceptualization or getting a basic idea about the concept, what we are going to do. Then they are also into active experiment. Meaning what? When we are going to, say for example, our company, there's a employee, employees who are very good in understanding and crafting a particular concept or a particular situation can be read. Say, our technological challenge as well. So requisite skill, we are going to have a particular idea how to address particular situation. Is it again developing skill related issue, the technical skills rahela some kind of issue related to our operators who are going to work. So converger concept they are going to converge on the idea. They're going to again help out others by understanding the issue and communicating with them, communicating the issue with the rest of the employee. Active experiment once I know the concept, once I know the issue, I can go for a much more efficient way of training my employee or helping my employee understand a particular how to solve a particular issue. इस जगह हमें कौन कोई करेगा? Let's for example, हमारा कालिकू ये आसिला हमारा for example इटू say 5G की मां गोटे technical aspect रे गोटे नया software को हम move करी पा. Okay, then what happens is the newer software को move करे what are the requisite requirements? Somebody can again understand what is the concept all about. Process टा जानिया पे कि जानी परिबो. Experiment माने कौन? We can move in to a much efficient way to experiment only. ये concept टा बुझुचा ना नहीं ना. Should I come up with other examples? Are you guys following this or should I come up with better examples?
Better example, sir.
Better example.
Sir, can you please give the better example?
Okay. Learning model टा को अबे हमें management की तरह जीपानी हमें as per गोटे learner केमिति काम करूँ गोटे human सेटा who accommodates knowledge, who is an accommodator. Accommodator is having a concrete experience. Concrete experience means that years of experience helps to understand how to react to a situation. More than the date, I'm a person who is having immense experience or a faculty who is having an immense experience in teaching a particular concept is well prepared. So that particular faculty is going to again come up with experimental basis of teaching. पिलांको पाएंगे हमें खाली case study related करी and I can again come up with or explain the concepts based on certain case studies. ये point टा बुझी पड़तो ना. accommodator role टा बुझी पारलो ना yes or no तो को भाई
ना सर क्लियर है पर नो
मु गोटे फैकल्टी हला मोर एक्सपीरियंस अछि मु तुमको
आगे
गोटे केस स्टडी बेस रे गोटे कॉन्सेप्ट बुझेई परिबी इंट्रोड्यूस करी परिबी rather than going through slides
हाँ सर
accommodator काम बुझी पारलो कन्वर्जर माने कोन कन्वर्जर आमे केमिति जानिबे के कन्वर्जर तम मानक भितरु somebody is extremely good in understanding the concept so that person can zero down on what is being taught जहाँ पढ़ा होची गोटे कांसेप्ट को गोटे आइडिया तार केमिति काम करती लर्निंग टाकू गोटे कांसेप्ट को इंट्रोड्यूस करूती जदी कन्वर्जर काम कोन हो से जानि पारला कि सर कोन उद्देश्य रे को जिंस को हम बुझाइबो चाहउचंती कांसेप्ट को हमें गोटे एब्स्ट्रैक्ट रे जानि पारले गोटे हमर माइंड रे पळे आसले कि अच्छा ओके दिस इज देयर हमर ट्रेनिंग डेवलपमेंट रे ए जिंस होची आरंभ रो हमर ट्रेनिंग कोन डेवलपमेंट कोन हम गोटे आइडिया पाइबी ट्रेनिंग टा होची रिएक्टिव प्रोसेस डेवलपमेंट टा होची गोटे लॉन्ग टर्म प्रोसेस आ योर प्रोएक्टिव प्रोसेस तो आमे गोटे जिंस जानि आमे गोटे कांसेप्ट को मिली गेला तो सेही जगह हमर जो लर्निंग टा होची तार आमे जो एप्लीकेशन टा करबा एक्सपेरिमेंट करि परिबा ना एक्टिव एक्सपेरिमेंट ए जगह माने कोन टू रिएक्ट टू और लर्निंग रो आमे गोटे मच मोर एफिशिएंट वे रे ताको रिप्रेजेंट करिबा हमको आज गोटे प्रकार ट्रेनिंग दिया हैला तुम जदि कांसेप्ट विषय जानिचो तुम कोन स्टैंडर्डाइज्ड वे रे सब करिवो यू कैन कम अप विथ योर ओन मेथोडोलॉजी टू से तुमको आज गोटे क्वेश्चन पचार तुम कांसेप्ट टा पे कि प्रिपेयर्ड अछो तुम जते स्ट्रांगली प्रिपेयर्ड थियो तुम सेही जिंसटा को 4 पेज रे लिखि परिबो से पेज जिंसटा को 2 पेज रे भी लिखि परिबो एबे बुझी परलो ना नै
यस
डाइवर्जर माने कोन कंक्रीट एक्सपीरियंस तमरो अछि रिफ्लेक्टिव ऑब्जर्वेशन यार माने कोन रिफ्लेक्टिव ऑब्जर्वेशन माने who can tell me what do we understand gote diverger ro काम कोन तमरो इमेंस लर्निंग तमरो इमेंस एक्सपीरियंस अछि वर्ल्ड रो तमरो कोन कोन सिचुएशन जोटा विषय तुम जानि छ we are more experienced how a particular day to day operations are there in your company reflective observation माने केते efficiently आ को opportunity को मु फ्यूचर रे टैप करि परिबी मोरो concrete experience रे मु जानिली से for example Reliance industry has operated within India for a long period of time. Undivided Reliance जब चला सही दिनों तो Reliance अच्छी, but once they get an idea, concrete experience तंकर अच्छी over a period of time, they launched Jio. Reflective observation, they put their learning into good use. Reflective observation, they saw a market opportunity in telecommunication in a better technology where they can invest and generate more people, more revenue हे परिबो तो सेही तरह से माने करले ना नहीं हमर एचआरएम रे हम कोन करबे एथि केमिति बुझिबा कंक्रीट एक्सपीरियंस हला काली को मोर I am having say for example 10 years of experience I can again address certain challenges in teaching our new education policy आसीबो new education policy आसिला परे as an experienced faculty, I can address the needs and wants according to the needs and wants which is or tasks which are expected of me according to the new education policy. Eta bujhi parlo na nai. Reflective observation it will help me to positively react or be well prepared. Are you guys understanding? No. Yes or no?
So once again,
One second. Divergent. Divergent. Don't go into that. accommodator, converger, diverger, এই জিনিসটা পরে ভুলো, জিনিসটাকে আগে শোনো। Concrete experience, you are a experienced, I am an experienced faculty. New education policy re যদি কিছু challenge আসিলা, will I not be better prepared?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So reflective observation will also help me to understand new education policy re kon hei pare future, I can predict it. So I'll be well prepared.
Yes.
Yes.
As you
For
are the
example,
experienced person, definitely you
Yes,
can
sir.
be expected or forecasting.
yes, we can forecast and we can be better prepared. Assimilator kon? Abstract conceptualization, reflective observation. Abstract conceptualization, I am good in understanding a particular concept or good in reading a particular situation. In case of an employee, a trained employee will read the situation very well or perceive the situation. Read means the person or the employee is prepared to understand what the problem is. Reflective observation, I am kon bujhipan. Reflective observation is again we can forecast how, if the I am understanding this is the situation, what is going to happen next. That also I can predict. Assimilator kamo kon? Getting assimilation mane kon? Assembling or getting all the information together. Thereby, as a prepared employee, I can come up with good solutions. এবার বুঝি পারলো না নাই?
Yes, yes, sir. বুঝিয়ে
Fine. Honey and Mumford learning styles, concrete experience, feeling, reflective observation is watching, abstract conceptualization is thinking, and active experimentation is doing. So concrete experiment with active experimentation, concrete experience, activist also. Activist kon kamo? Concrete experience, they already understand the situation. Hello. Active experiment is people who are willing to take risks. Yes. Concrete experience and reflective observation, people what they are going to do, they are going to assess the situation and they are going to reflect how best to adapt to that situation. Amar kali what problem asila, I have experience, but I am going to again come up with ways to tackle the issue. Reflect, we are going to reflect on how best or what is the best way to solve that issue. Reflective observation and abstract conceptualization are also known as theorists. Those people are also known as theorists. Why that is needed? Because they are going to note down, they are going to again jot down what is the situation. Kaliku seta reference material of our companies. Most of the companies nowadays, have a record, keep a record of problematic situations. So जोटा को आमे हमारा management jargon रे कहूचे case study. So case study रे हमारा that becomes a reference or a learning tool for some other company, or it becomes a reference for future for the same company. बुझी पारुचो? Follow करुचो? Follow करुचो की? बुझुचो ना नहीं? Yes or no? ना मु continue करी?
Yes, sir. Continue, sir.
Active experiment and abstract conceptualization. When I have an idea about the concept or the situation at hand, I am going to be a pragmatist. Active experimentation is pragmatism. Is I am going to emphatically move forward and I am going to address or meet the situation as per the need. Moving on. Work model. Work model. तो हमारा asking a question may come, may not come as short notes. Visual learners, and then there are neuroimaging visual learners and auditory kinesthetic. Visual learners have a preference seeing visual aids that represents ideas using methods than words, meaning people tend to learn more when there is a PPT in front of them rather than somebody speaking. Am I clear? If I am writing something on the whiteboard or chalkboard, then the attention is towards the chalkboard. If I am going to only give a extempo speech, then people are not interested. That is a common issue. Visual learners have a preference of seeing visual aids that represent ideas using methods other than words, such as graphs, charts, diagrams, symbols, etc. Subsequent neuroimaging research suggests that visual learners convert words into images in brain and vice versa. Some psychologists have argued that this is not an instance of learning, that is, it is an ability appearing as a style, or people have the potential to grasp much faster, learn much faster when they are represented or certain training aids are provided. Either audiovisual aid is provided or in a classroom, whiteboard learning is done. Auditory learners best learn through listening, lectures, discussion tapes, and so on and so forth. Amara gote example hochi when amara jo CD, DVD, ए जो ट्रेनिंग एड हमको मिले हमें दोचे जो कंपनी पे लोग मन को आउट ऑफ ट्रेनिंग एड से इट छोड़ा हुआ आजकल डायरेक्टली लिंक रू people put on their headphone, go to the software, they learn on their own. So those are auditory learners. Tactile and kinesthetic learners prefer to learn via experience, moving, touching. This is again for people who are operating machinery. Tactile or kinesthetic learners prefer to learn via experience, moving, touching, and doing. Active exploration of the world, science project, experimental experiments. Right. Next is designing a learning environment. How do we design a learning environment? Need assessment I've already covered. We are going to see if there is a gap in KSA, then that is how we are going to do need assessment. Gap, we see there is a need for training. Determine employee readiness for training. How we are going to determine the employee readiness for training? Yes, we are going to find out if the person is willing to be trained. Adult theory is a if the person is unwilling, the person is cost income to train that person is again a wastage. Creating a learning environment. Learning environment focuses on training as well as development. That is learning environment. Enable transfer of learning. What you have learned from the trainer, from the classroom, from your experts who are training you, or the trainer who has trained you with a particular skill or attitude or whatever knowledge, that has to be again transferred to your on-the-job performance. See, that skills which I have acquired today has to be again reflected in my work. Okay. Develop an evaluation plan. Evaluation plan meaning I have to again understand post-training what is the improvement. Am I justifying the amount spent by the company to get me trained? Next is monitor and evaluate learning. Monitor and evaluate learning is what is the development in the case of employee that we are going to assess. Okay, done with unit 1. Is there any issue, doubt? Kindly contact me.
सर यार क्वेश्चन सर कोई टाइप रो पड़िबो
I'll send you. This is my email ID, official email ID. You have any questions, you want your PPTs to be given to you, you want any kind of course material, contact me. One of your group admins can contact me. I'll send it to that to a particular person and he can share it in the group. Am I clear?
Yes, sir. Sure.
Is it okay? Thank you then.
Thank you, sir. Thank you
सर
so
बहिर
much.
पीडीएफ अछि की
MTD नहीं
सर क्वेश्चन को टाइप रो पड़िबो सर
मु कहि देबी तमरो एबे
Okay,
क्वेश्चन बते मेल करम कहि दे मेल आईडी टा मु देली ना तो मते
Yes,
ଗୋଟେ
sir.
काम करो तो मते मेल करो मो पाखर गोटे अछि पर्टिकुलर गोटे उत्कलर गोटे पैटर्न अछि सेटा मो पाखर जोटा अछि सेटा शेयर यू कैन गो
Okay. Thank you, sir.
थैंक यू